This is my tutorial on how to do water slide tumblers. Water slide is a special type of paper that you can print any image from your printer onto the paper, and then using this method I'm going to show you, you can get this image onto a cup just like this. The first thing you do after you print the image is you're going to trim it down to the size you want. Like this image, I couldn't get all of the background out of it without messing up the image, so I just printed it with it. So I'm going to just trim off all this extra stuff that I don't want to appear on the cup. So now once you have your image trimmed how you like it, it doesn't matter if you have this white around here, because all that is going to be clear. And once you epoxy the cup, all of the lines disappear. So next, I spray it with a crystal clear enamel. I'm going to do 2 coats of this, and that's just going to help the ink to not run when you put the image in the bowl of water. I've done 2 coats of the crystal clear gloss. To speed up the drying, I like to blow dry it a little bit. Once it's not tacky, you know it's ready to go. So I'm putting this image on a glitter cup. I already glittered it yesterday, and I left it on the cup spinner all night with 1 coat of epoxy. So it's glittered, but now it has a nice smooth surface. I did lightly sand it a little bit just to get some of those bumps off. So whenever I put my image on, it's gonna lay flat. Now I'm going to use a little bit of rubbing alcohol just to get all the sanding particles off of the cup. If you've never glittered a cup before, you might be a little afraid because it's gonna look kind of foggy at first, but I freaked out the first time. But once you put that epoxy on there, it's gonna be crystal clear. Once that is dry, we get to put the decal on. So I take it and I just put it in the water. It's gonna curl up. Just kind of turn it over. And you'll be able to see when it starts to kind of come up off the edge. Kind of just play with it with your fingers. Once it starts to separate from that paper, see how it slides? I'm able to slide it off the paper. You can see that. Figure out where you want it on your cup. Put it right here. I'm gonna put a little water on the cup just so I'm able to move it around once I get it on. And then I'm just going to start, dry it a little bit, sorry. Okay, just gonna start sliding it off onto my cup. Don't worry if it's not perfect at first because we put that water on. So we will have time now to kind of move it around and get it where we want it, get it laid out. If it folds over, you just kind of play with it. If it starts to feel like it's drying, just wet your fingers. Some images are a little more difficult than others. When they're more square, they go on a little easier. This one has a lot of different edges. So getting it on sometimes is a little more difficult. There we go. All right, so you have it all laid out flat. I think, yes. Okay. So now you can make sure it's centered, figure out where it is you want it. You'll feel it's gonna start getting sticky once that glue starts to activate. I think that's pretty centered and straight. And now I'm just gonna take a wet paper towel and just kind of start I like to blot it first, and you'll see it'll move a little bit, but once you start soaking up all that water, that's the point of the paper towel, is to get all that water up from under it, it'll stop moving. So I'll blot it, and if I see it move, I'll just kind of go pull it back to where I want it to be. It takes some time just to play with it to get it to start all that water out of there, and then it starts sticking. If you look at, this one's a little harder to see. When it's on the solid cup, you can really see where it's wrinkling. But where it's wrinkling is where the water is. So you just lightly rub it. I made the mistake yesterday of rubbing it too hard and I ripped it. I was able to put it back together, but, and once I epoxy it, you won't even see it. So I think that looks pretty good like that. Got all the water out, there's no bubbles in it. I like where it's placed. So there it is. Now I'm gonna let it dry for like 30 minutes and then I will epoxy it. So let me know if you have any questions. You can message me privately or comment on the video and I'll be happy to help. Thanks.